Hello friends, how are you today? I am so excited to be here with you and to talk to you about these interesting images in the Schumann resonance. I've done 2 longer videos that go over a lot of the background and mechanics, and I'm going to link those below. One has a bear in the thumbnail and the other has Little Red Riding Hood. And if you want even more detail, I talk about the energy themes of the November 19th eclipse in my first astrology video. And I did that because of the Jericho effect, which is mentioned in the videos by those names, related to what is going on with the red resonance. What I have seen is like something building, and I've been wondering what it could be. So the astrology is one of the potential predictive tools, of looking at what the energies are going to be ahead. Okay, so come on in, take a seat. Let's get started. The dog's walked up and is ready to sit down with us. I wanted to note the key images that have shown up now on the chart. I talked about the bug Archon. I went into a lot of detail in the Red Riding Hood video on this. I've realized I forgot to link the Archon article below in those videos, so it's down there now. In this image, okay, there was a hard stop to the right. For me, that means going forward. Okay, there's a hard stop to the energies once we perceive it. And I talked in depth about the mechanics of how that works with what's going on with the red resonance. So check out those two or three videos for more, because they were really, I thought that was pretty good. Okay, now here it's interesting because there's a straight line here and it's in this kind of a grayish color. It's not really a white resonance line. You see that? And I always think of that as what I kind of call the alien influence, or this anti-life influence that is being revealed, essentially. So it comes first, and then what do we have? We have this whole set of white resonance where the left side in particular is very limited and the energy is going to the right. To me, how I read that is we're moving away from the old attachments, right, and the old engagements with this energy here, this energy of deep density and darkness, dark forces. And see, we're flooding the matrix with light here. And one way to think of the matrix related to the Schumann resonance chart is it's all the brain waves. I really went into detail on this in the Red Riding Hood video and the bear videos. That's a way of looking at this. And of course, brainwaves aren't straight lines, but for the purposes of this 2D chart, they are. The observations that we're having right now, and it's interesting, the potent energies of the eclipse revealed. I talked about this in that video, but I looked at the asteroids as reflections of archetypical energy, and the asteroid Kali was in a square with Uranus, and Uranus was exactly at the same degree as the asteroid Child, which was amazing. And how I interpreted that just in a thumbnail is Kali is actually the destroyer of demons. I know that a lot of times she's perceived as a destructive energy, but what that's focused on is on demonic forces. And even the destroyer of the head of the demons, that's the story of Kali. And so when she's in a square with Uranus, which is with the Child, okay, what that says to me is that that says potential dramatic upsets of dark forces that protect the Child, that protect innocence. Pretty wild, huh? Check out that Astro video for more on that. Now, this image here, does it look like a flag to you? Because it totally looks like a flag to me. And not only that, but there was a similar flag in a previous chart earlier this year. I'm going to show you that in a second. It's interesting because this energy here is very kind of sharp and pointed, this white resonance going down sort of the flagpole, and it connects with all the way through to 40 hertz, right? So from our deep unconscious, through the subconscious, through all of our waking states, it connects with the spiritual. Okay, so this is kind of a big deal for us. What it looks like is, think about a flag, right? It's usually maybe about, if it was on a flagpole like this, it'd be about this big. So it's like parts of the flag have been torn off, and like it's like a force is trying to spread them out or tear them even further away from the core of the flag. It's interesting because even though the flag is under attack, the core portion of the flag is holding together. So it's a bit separated from the flagpole here, but it's holding together. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. And, I just wanted to mention from an energetic standpoint, what does the flag represent? The flag represents our nation states of Earth. So every peoples has a flag. All the cultures on Earth are represented by these various flags. And the cultures of Earth, each of us with both our common stories, right? Because there are common stories across cultures of things like the Great Flood and the belief in God, the Most High that created the universe. There's flowers of life, images that have been found across the globe in ancient cultures across the globe. There's similarities in culture, right? But there's also our unique stories that each culture has, and the beautiful flavors of those, and that we honor as human beings, and we honor among ourselves. And what are cultures but collections of families, right? Ultimately, that's where tribes were, that's where clans were and are. And that's what communities are. We are collections of families, and so over generations. And so this is precious humanity that is essentially under attack by these forces, okay, that are present here. But the good news is, although we're see all this red energy, we're seeing, okay, the influences that have beset us for how long we don't know, but we're seeing them. And perhaps we're even seeing that we are under attack, and we're under attack across humanity by a force that is invisible and anti-life, or maybe it's not so invisible at the moment. But I want to show you where this has shown up before. This chart, I had adjusted the lighting and saturation of the colors so that the phenomena would pop. And it's interesting because so here you see the flag, but here again you see the thick flagpole and the flag. Now what's interesting is it was more tearing apart between the pole and the, oh, look at that. This is so interesting. This was, this is March 9th because the date's reversed from European dating or American dating. So it's March 9th, 2021. Look at that. It's almost like the flag is more attached to the flagpole than it was. Holy goodness, look at that. Now, what I talked about in the video related to this, which is back in around March 9th, and I'll show you the thumbnail I used for that in a second. Do you see the faces here? Now, I called this the alien face because you see it's almost like the dark sunglasses or the big oval dark eyes. But what I saw here was these faces, and here's the eyes here, here, and here. So there's I don't know if it's two faces, if it's three, but you see how they're hidden and obscured here. So ultimately the force is not from other humans, okay, but from non-physical energies working through humanity that are anti-life or anti-human, and other forces that are anti-life and anti-human. I think there's a group of these forces and that co-opt human energy and use it for themselves. In this video, I also talked about this, the Earth Shaman, I called it. But another way to look at this, because energy can be both interpreted from two perspectives, another way to look at it is a little gremlin guy. And yes, did we become aware of it? Yes, we did. But you see how our awareness was so much lower. Look how many fewer vertical lines there were. And you can see the technological effect was present at this time. This is the thumbnail I used, and this is what the image looked like. I wanted to look at what's going on behind the scenes here. Okay, so this was dramatic. But you see here how the red dipped so low. Look, it went down to the high 18s, okay, after being in the high 19s for a very, very long time. We've seen this before where the white resonance comes in, but this is a very sharp drop. So the white resonance, look at the peak there, and then it's like the white and the yellow were moving together, and the yellow I see as being kind of representative of the astral, and you had a dip here as well in the green, which is interesting. So that says to me that this is addressing the red energy that is within humanity specifically, okay, because the green went down with red. Just like I just talked about, these forces working through human beings. That's what it's addressing. That's what it looks like to me. And then look here, how the amplitudes really spiked of yellow, 25, and white, 37, okay? So again, the yellow, how I see that is the yellow being the astral, the non-physical energy closest to the human. It can also be entities in that energy or shadow forces in that energy, but it's also our emotions, our thoughts, our hopes, our dreams. Here's the quality, and check this out. Whoa. Now, doesn't this look like a heartbeat chart? Which I thought was so interesting, because I think the consciousness of humanity here, there are all these heart issues that have been coming to the fore. I spent this evening, it's a bit morbid, but it was awful. But I spent this evening watching a bunch of videos of people just falling to the ground, different athletes. It's quite shocking, and the energy of the people is quite shocking, because I read energy of people in videos as well, and it's like they're on and then suddenly they're off, and you don't normally see that. Usually you see the energy work through the body when someone's having some kind of an event, but it's literally like it's seconds where they're on and then bam, they're off. And so that's very strange. And now I would account that to this non-physical anti-life influence is kind of how it reads to me in the chart, that this is what this is about. And you see this incredible drop down in the qualities to just above 7 here, maybe 8. And doesn't it look like a ba-boom, 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 flatlining? So I think that we're giving ourselves a message here about what is going on. And I would just say to you that you can pray for energetic protection for your heart. I believe that this is a good support. This obviously isn't any kind of medical advice, but it's about prayer. It's about energy. You can pray for the spiritual beings that you work with to guard your heart. For example, whether it's Archangel Michael, Archangel of Protection, Archangel Raphael, the Archangel of Health. You can pray for Jesus. You can pray Christ. You can pray for Mother Mary to guard your heart, or whatever, your higher self. You can ask your higher self, your soul, to guard your heart, to protect your heart under these conditions. It can't hurt, right? It's just prayer. It's love, and you know what it is? It's that prayer and that energy work is a manifestation of your own love for yourself. And to me, that's what gets us through this, and that's what reattaches the flag. That's what reignites life among humanity. That's what reignites and strengthens the culture of life.